What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode of Conquer Your Environment Conversations. I'm your host, Michael Jenkins. I'm sitting here with my big dog, my bro, Troy Bell. Troy, what's going on, man?
Man, chilling. Happy to be a part of the first episode.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Happy to have you on, actually, man. I was going through the process of who I wanted to, be my first episode. I was like, you know what? I know Troy gonna come with it. So I was like, let me reach out to Troy first. But
Oh,
man, sitting here, for the people that don't know you, me personally, especially for the Hoopers, if the Hoopers don't know you, shame on them. But just in general, trying to reach a mass target, a different bunch of demographics. So just for the people that don't know you, man, tell a little bit about yourself.
right. Well, first, my name is Troy Bell. I grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Um, how did I start? Started out, little kid loving basketball, playing other sports. Did some basketball. I mean, not basketball. Did some football, some gymnastics. Did some karate, baseball. My people's kind of had me in everything. Eventually, I ended up choosing basketball, going real hard at that. Um, Went to Holy Angels High School in Minnesota. A lot of people wouldn't know that if you're not from Minnesota. Ended up getting a scholarship to Boston College. Um, was a 4 year athlete in Boston College. Ended up having the opportunity to go to NBA. Ended up being a first round pick. Um, Everything looked smooth when I started, but didn't really go to the right place.
Yeah.
So things kind of got hectic. And then after that, I ended up going overseas for a number of years, and that's where me and Mike met, the host of the show, and now retired, doing the family thing, and just enjoying life with my little people
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
wife, man.
Yeah, got to, man. Got to. How you moving in this pandemic? How's everything? Everybody safe? Everybody good? Ain't caught the Rona?
You know what? I think I did actually have it back in like I want to say I want to say man, it seemed like it's been going on so long that now I can't even remember what month it was, but it was many months ago, back when I want to say when it was like almost summer. So maybe like pre-summer. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I caught it. Um I went to the gun range. I shouldn't have went to the gun range because I was thirsty because I knew that the pandemic was going to shut everything down. I
Yeah.
just got some new guns. I'm like, man, let me just go shoot these guns real quick. And my part of me was like, you shouldn't go, but I still went, and it was packed too, bro. It was packed in there. Like everybody was thinking just like I was.
Yeah.
And then
Trying to get some shots off.
we get some shots off, bro. It was unbelievable in there. And then about I want to say like 2 days later, man, I feel like I had it. Like I had the night sweats. It was hella uncomfortable, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I had the night sweats. Lungs felt weird, but
Woo.
I kept working out though. I kept working out, doing my
Yeah.
stuff, and then it was over, bro. Like I caught it quick. I had two terrible nights, and then it was just over with. It just went away.
Mm.
I had no issues with the kids. I don't think my wife had any issues. Like it was just
You
smooth after
you
that.
lose your you lose your sense of taste or anything like that?
Nope, didn't lose my taste, didn't lose my smell. You know what? It was really just the night sweats.
Mm.
Like as soon as nightfall came, bro, I was sweating like a slave. I'm telling you, crazy, bro. Like waking up, like going to the bathroom, like wiping the eye. It was bad, bro.
Yeah.
But that was all I really had, though. My lungs felt a little weird off and on, but that was it. That's
Yeah.
all I had. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, shoot, thank God, bro. Thank God it didn't
yeah, yeah,
escalate
no,
and you ain't have to go to the hospital
yeah, man.
and get a room up
Yep,
in that joint.
straight up, straight up. It was. But I was thirsty, bro. I had a thirsty moment. I had to go shoot these guns,
Hey
man.
man, you gotta get them shots off. You got too
Yeah,
many rounds. You had the round quota for for the month. You had to let it go.
yeah, bro. But I'm cool now though. Everything's
Yeah,
smooth, man.
bet.
I'm glad I got back on my feet.
Yeah, man. So we gonna sit here and talk about, the whole purpose of this show is just, or this podcast or these conversations is to, I especially want to talk to you because I know you and I follow your journey, watching you as a kid and, at Boston College tearing it up and, you being one of my favorite players in the Big East, me loving the Big East, favorite me growing up in ACC country, loving ACC basketball, but really loving the Big East because it was just so competitive. You knew every time. almost every time, because some people got smacked, but you
Right.
knew every time for the most part that it was going to be some crazy game. Like, and y'all, it
Yeah.
was the best guards was in the Big East. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So you got to go his. You went to get some of the greatest competition. I remember watching, AI and Ray Allen. You know what I'm saying? Go at it. And so I just kept following, and to see you there, then be able to play against you and get to know you and meet you as a pro. It was a blessing, man. So and I just want to. You had to go through something to get to where you at. Everybody that's successful at some point,
Yeah.
you had to overcome adversity. But the thing is, and Pointers podcast as well, is you took adversity and you cultivated growth and success. No matter what, you didn't give up.
Yeah.
You didn't let the adverse conditions or situations, your environment, you know uh
Break you.
it didn't you didn't make it determine your potential to be successful.
Right.
You may had your mentality and you flipped it and you did what you needed to do. So
Right.
that's essentially what we're gonna
It's
go
funny you say
talk
that
about.
too. It's funny you say that too, bro, because I feel like the adversity started real early too, because in Minnesota, like from a basketball standpoint, nobody cared about us, right?
Hmm.
Um, even now, well, not so much now, because now it's a totally different ball game. But like I remember when we would play teams, they'd be like, "Damn, there's black people in Minnesota, like in AAU." They'd be like, "Damn, you got black people there." It's like, yeah, that's why when you think, I don't know if you saw that Chris Rock special back in the day when he was like the only black people in Minnesota were Kirby Puckett and Prince. Like,
Yeah, Kirby Puckett was my guy too, because I was a baseball fan.
yep, yep. And that's what people thought too, man. People really thought that, that was it. So, and from a basketball standpoint, it was even worse. Like, dude, you couldn't get a scholarship out of Minnesota, bro. Like, it was damn near impossible.
Yeah.
So like when we were on the AAU circuit, going into my junior year, no, going into my senior year. So my junior year, I think I averaged just under 28 a game, maybe like 27.9 in high school, and I didn't have no offers at all. I didn't have not one offer, and then oh, it's all good. And then
Bro.
uh, hey, when you're in demand, you're in demand, bro. And then so that summer we went to AAU, went to the Peach Jam, all them big tournaments, and then the whole starting five got scholarships after like the second tournament. So we all went from like nobody caring about Minnesota, nobody recruiting really any of us, no one had any scholarship offers,
Yeah.
to everybody having offers on the table. And that's kind of where the whole Minnesota thing started. Like,
Okay.
because now I don't know if you know, but like Chet Holmgren, he's from Minnesota, the 7-foot white dude. He's a number one player in the
Oh
country from
yeah, I saw
Minnesota.
him play
Yeah.
Mikey Williams in them. Yeah.
Yep. Jalen
Yeah.
Suggs, he's at Gonzaga, number one team in the country. They got him projected like a top 10 pick now. Like now Minnesota's booming. But when we
Hmm.
were coming out, it was terrible. So, and it wasn't because of the talent, it was because they didn't care about us.
Yeah.
So that was where the adversity first started, was just trying to get out of Minnesota to like get a scholarship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when we then getting to Boston College, the year before I got there, I want to say they were like 5 and something or 6 and something. So just a terrible record. And then my freshman year, we ended up being like 11 and 18. And we should have been better, but we
Yeah.
couldn't close games. So, and then my sophomore year, we ended up being 27 and 5. So we went from the worst team damn near ever. I think we lost a Big East record. So we only won 3 games. That was a
Oh
Big East
wow.
record. Yeah, for being terrible. That was a record for being terrible. The kind of records you don't want to ever have.
Yeah.
That's what we had. And then the next year we were 27 and 5 and won the conference and the tournament, the biggest tournament. So like we turned it around, and that turned the whole program around right from there. So, there had always been adversity, the whole time. And then after my freshman year, had a knee surgery,
Hmm.
my left knee, which you know all about. And then before my junior season, I had a knee surgery on my right leg. So, in the midst of doing well and things going well, there was always things going on that were just making things hard. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
the adversity is always there, period.
Hmm. So let's backtrack a little bit, because I want to kind of, yeah, we're both hoopers and we both play basketball, but I want to start off early at the earliest stages of it. It's just like, so like, how did you grow up? Like, what was your upbringing like? Like for me, I grew up in a single parent household, and that's a different type of environment. It's different. It's different levels. People that don't have families, it's people that are foster kids. mine was I grew up with a single mom,
Right.
single parent household, single mom, and that affected my mentality and how I grew up. And that was the beginning of my adversity right there. So how was it for you, especially you already touched on, being from Minnesota, being black in Minnesota. So
Right.
now like just going back into, the Bell household and kind of parents you had or what kind of household you had, how'd you grow up?
Well, so I had two parents. My mom, very sweet lady, sweet lady, man. One of the most just like do anything for you if she can type. Pops, good dude, talking shit. You know what I mean? Uh, Way more hardcore though
Yeah.
than moms. You know what I mean? And he he su- he supported me like he really supported me, but like my dad was kind of a hater, right?
Okay.
I know it's kind
I
of
say,
funny.
how did that work?
It's funny, bro. My dad, like,
Yeah.
he couldn't help it. He just could not. You know, some people just be haters.
Yeah.
Hold on, but let me. Okay, so I'm not talking about like a hater like on the Dave Chappelle show. You know
Yeah.
what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm not talking about like one of them. Like, how do I explain it, bro? It's funny. He was funny, man. My pops passed like, was it? Oh, it'll be three. It'll be 3 years in May.
Oh wow.
So yeah, man, that was my guy though. So it's funny because like he means well, right? Like
Yeah.
he means well. I don't even think he wanted to be a hater.
Yeah.
Like you know, all right, there's levels to being a hater, right? I'm trying to really make you feel what I'm saying. Because he
Yeah.
wasn't like a traditional hater.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So all right, just imagine, right? So you got some people that are haters, right? Like they'll see someone in a nice car, like with a
Yeah.
nice watch. Like, man, look at that dude. You know, he wasn't one of them. He wasn't like
Yeah.
one of them. But but he still couldn't contain the hate sometimes. Like, perfect example, right? So one time, one of the homies came through. He was starting music. He was a music doing this thing in the music or trying to do his thing in the music. He was a fat dude, and
Yeah.
he had got his logo was like a fat dude on his arm with like a microphone. It was a logo he made up, right? And
Okay.
so he came over and he's telling my dad, telling us, not even my dad. He's telling me and my friend or my friend about I got my tattoo, my record label, all that, and my dad's just kind of like ear hustling, and then my dad just turns over like, well, why didn't you get a skinny guy tattooed on your arm so you'd have something to work towards? Why did you get a fat guy? He's like, you're fat now. You get a fat guy on your arm. If you got a skinny guy, then at least you got something to work towards. Like, why would you just get a fat guy? He was just like shooting down this whole thing, right? And I'm kind of embarrassed because I'm like, damn, this dude's just gonna hate on this whole little joint. He just got it done. It's permanent. Like,
How old were you
let
with,
him live his
when this
life. I was
happened?
like 21.
Oh.
Like, yeah, like no, Pops was hating from the seed to the end.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter. Like, even when my dad was on his deathbed, right? He was like, I just wish you'd cut that beard off so I could see your face one more time. I'm like, Pops, listen, man, beards are in. Stop being a hater. Let me be great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like most people would have got sentimental, but I know my dad. You're always manipulating, even your last days. No, I'm not cutting my beard off. Like, relax. Like, you're almost out of here. I love you to death. You know it, but leave my beard alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pops was funny though, man. Like but he was a hater. He couldn't help it. So
Yeah.
my dad was. So it's like he supported me, like drove me to the games, but like he's gonna hate all the way home. You know what I mean? Like, it's just what it was. Like I remember one time I had like in high school. I had like 40 something. I was like 17 for 18 from the free throw line. The whole ride home, we talking about that free throw. Well, like, if you'd have just bend your knees, it was great to all the neighborhood kids. Like, because in my neighborhood, a lot of kids didn't have dads, but
Oh,
my
okay.
dad was like a dad, like the neighborhood, like a neighborhood dad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like pick guys up for practice. You know,
Okay.
yeah. Like he was a good dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying he was a bad dude at all. He just
Yeah,
was a
for
hater.
sure.
But he
For
was a
sure.
good dude.
Did he hate
But
on them too? Or just
but he don't. Oh,
he hate on
everybody's been hated
everybody?
on. They know. Oh yeah, what? I mean, he ain't gonna be like your shoes are ugly, not like that.
Yeah.
But he's speaking his piece. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's good. And a lot of times, gonna be some hating stuff. Like perfect example, bro. Like when I came home from college, after I got Big East Player of the Year, Big East Tournament MVP, and whatever else I got, All American. He was like, well, maybe someone overseas will want you. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this guy talking about? Like,
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I'm a first round pick right now. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't leave school. I didn't leave school, but I'm a first round pick. Like,
Yeah.
I remember my boy was with me. My boy was with me. I was like, Dad, I'm about to leave. I just had to get out of here. Like, dude, I don't want to hear the hate right now. You know, it's a beautiful day. It was like early in the day. Like, I can't start my day out with this kind of hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like me and my boy got in the car. And my boy was like, man, I don't know what's wrong with your dad, man. Like, he's like, if you can't go to the league now, I might as well put me a little app in the McDonald's because I ain't got a shot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we just laughed about it. But man, that was my dad, bro. So grew up two-parent household, great parents.
Yeah.
Pops was a hater, couldn't help himself, but he loved he loved he loved people. You know what I mean? And that was kind of it, man. No siblings.
Yeah.
Had a cat. Cat died when I was in college. I was hurt. I lost my
Mm.
little cat, man. Me and the cat was tight. I was hurt. Like, damn, if I'd have been home, he wouldn't have died, but he'd have died anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, I just was just having a moment. But yeah, man, like my people's was good, man. Mom's is still kicking. She'll be over here for Christmas.
Okay.
You know, just small family,
Yeah.
small house, real small house. But one thing I'll say about that too is like I really learned about like money management and like living within your means
Okay.
just watching my parents because my parents wanted to move because we lived in a little house. But I didn't want to move because I had hella friends in the neighborhood. I'm like, dude, I don't want to move. Like all my friends is here. Like,
Yeah.
and so they just stayed, but it ended up being a blessing because you know, it was an expensive house. You know, I didn't have any siblings, so their money was always cool. You know, we weren't making hella money. My dad drove a bus, my mom worked for State Farm, but if your bills are low and you make money, like you save money.
Yeah.
So just seeing like how they were, like not trying to keep up with the Joneses, not trying to get expensive stuff, never needing to feel like we're behind because we don't got this, that, and the third. It just kind of like helped mold my mentality
Mm-hmm.
when I ended up, you know, being grown and getting money and just thinking about things differently. You know, I was never the
Okay.
guy that felt like I got to get a new car every year because so and so, you know what I mean? Like I still got the same car that I got drafted with in
Okay.
'03. Still got that. Matter of fact, the truck I got right after that, I still got that. So I'm driving a '03, a '04 right
Oh,
now. You know what I
okay.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, but all those things are like money savers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like I paid off, and then also too, man. Like looking at how many guys went broke in professional sports, even before I got to professional sports, just hearing these stories, I'm
Yeah.
like, man, everyone's going broke because they're not owning nothing. You know what I mean? So the first thing I did was I owned my cars. I bought my first house at 22. Like, you know, I just always was focused on how can I keep what I got as opposed to how can I look cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that kind of segues me into the next question, and you kind of answered it a little bit. It's just like, so how did you growing up like that, your upbringing and all that, how did that shape your mentality, as a kid, through college,
Yeah.
Prove it was different, and even now, or is it still just stayed the same? Like,
Man, bro, I feel like I mean, we all grow and evolve, you know what I mean?
mhm,
If we're lucky. Some people be stuck staying in the same little
yeah,
rut they be in their whole life. But for the most part, bro, like I didn't change a whole lot. Like I've always been semi-cheap. EJ Rowland, you know, EJ, he
yeah, I
thinks I'm
know,
the cheapest
yeah,
dude in the world. Yeah, he thinks I'm the cheapest dude in the world. Like I remember we was overseas and I had bought I used to wear Reeboks and I had bought some Reeboks on clearance, right? They were like $20, right? I bought like 30 pairs and I wore them for like hella seasons, right? Because first of all, you don't have a deal. You're never gonna find a deal like that, like ever in
yeah,
your life. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I wasn't making money. It's just that, you know, this was a deal. So I
yeah,
bought like, and the Reeboks weren't popping, bro. I'll be honest with you. They weren't hella nice. They weren't like the Iversons or nothing like that. They was like some basic Betty, like
I know all about
regular,
that. My
you know
freshman
what
year
I
in
mean?
college, we had to wear Reebok. Oh my god.
Right, right. But these ones was weaker than the ones you wore, I guarantee. I guarantee. But the thing about it was you know my knees is jacked up, right?
Yeah.
So even though they was kind of heavy, they were like they kind of was reinforced at the bottoms. You know what I mean? Like I'm being honest with you, bro. I don't know if I got a picture of these. I probably do. I'll send it to you. But they weren't popping though. But they had hella different colors. You know what I'm saying? Had the blues, the blacks, the oranges, the purple. Overseas, who care what color shoes you wear? It don't even matter.
Yeah.
But they weren't popping. And EJ always let me know just how unpopping these shoes were. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And it was funny. But I had to explain to EJ, like, bro, like, you don't understand. Like, this is like an investment into like my knees. Like not only am I saving money, but
Yeah.
like these joints are so reinforced that like they help me continue to get money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I wasn't out there with like, you know, the cool little sleeves and like the low
Yeah.
tops and all that. I would have loved to be able to wear some of them new shoes y'all be wearing now. But my knees ain't set up like that. My
Yeah.
knees needed what they needed. You know what I mean? So bro, like so not only did buying them 30 pair of shoes on clearance like help me like not have to ever think about buying shoes or nothing, but also too like it helped me with my knees.
Yeah.
So like, bro, like I've always been like that. Like if I can get a deal in bulk, like that's what I'm doing. Like Costco, trash bags, it's the same thing. Like I've been the same dude since I was a little kid, bro. I remember I had a little safe. When I was like 7, had my dad buy me a little safe. I used to put my little basketball cards in there, my little money. Like I've been the same dude the whole time, bro. But I'm gonna tell you what's funny about that though. And I was telling some kids this yesterday at basketball practice for my son. Because I was telling them they gotta ice their knees when they get done hooping because y'all are
Yeah.
hooping too much to not be icing your knees. They're like, I don't want to ice. I'm like, dude, your career is gonna be short if you don't ice them knees.
Yeah.
But long story short, bro, I remember my rookie year, I was talking to Shane Battier, and Shane Battier's like, yo, I got this chef, man. You should deal with him because you don't got to think about cooking or nothing. I was like, well, how much is it? He's like, I can't remember what he said, but whatever he told me, it was too much for me, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Man, get out of here. I ain't paying Buddy that to be cooking. I can just go to the Donald's down the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the league, bro. Like, but I'm still thinking like I was so cheap in my mind about certain stuff that I wasn't. This is the only downfall I ever had to being cheap was this right here. Instead of thinking about like what this is gonna do for my body, I'm thinking about saving my little funky couple dollars. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But then now, like when you look at LeBron talking about I'm putting $1 million a year into my body, it makes so much more sense because it's like all I'm thinking about is my couple dollars. I'm not thinking about the long term,
Yeah.
you know, like being able to play for hella years and maximizing with the money. I'm trying to maximize my money every day. You know what I mean? Like even if it's like, and that's the only downside I ever had to being cheap, bro.
Yeah.
Was I was so focused on saving my bread that I wasn't even able to like turn that key and understand that like this is gonna help you get more money. Like I was just focused on keeping everything that came in, like on some Scrooge McDuck, like swimming in the money type stuff. You know what I mean? Like I
Swimming in
wish,
chips.
dude, swimming, bro. I wish,
Swimming in chips.
bro. That's the only downside I've ever had to being like a cheaper dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I
when you
wish
look at
I
how
would have.
LeBron's doing it, bro, like, and you know what's crazy? Like I remember one summer I came home. This is how cheap I was, and this is ridiculous. I remember they were like, "Are you gonna get that lifetime membership?" I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna just hit these open gyms. Like I literally, bro, came home and hit the free open gyms. Like, because in my
Playing against people you know you're going to torch.
come on, man. Because I had weights in my condo. I was paying for my association fee. So I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I ain't about to get no other gym membership when I'm paying the association fee to my condo. I was just so focused on keeping every dollar, bro, that like I just was not thinking right in certain aspects, bro. Like,
It's crazy, bro, because certain things in life, when you talk to people, people don't want to admit it or not, but there's certain people you listen to more than others, even though you should listen to,
right,
because you never know what you're going to hear. But it's just certain people, especially when you respect them, that you listen
right,
to them just a little bit more. And I'll
right.
never forget you telling me, I can't remember if we was out in Milan or, where we were, but we was in Ghana's. I don't
Right,
know, but I remember you telling me, like, you've never not been a millionaire since the moment you became a millionaire.
right.
Like, I
That's what I
remember you
focus
telling
on.
me that. And
Right,
I
right,
was just like, it's just like, I don't like, I've always been able to keep my money. Like, we didn't go into great detail. I can't remember what we was talking about, but I remember you saying that. And I was just like, God, man, he must like, he know how to save. He know how to do this. He know how to do that. Or he just making, I didn't know what to think, but I was like, he either getting hella contracts, like them
right.
contracts is crazy, or he just know, like he's taking care of his money. And I just remember you telling me that. And that's always stuck with me. It's like that joker said he got his first million when he, signed in the league or whatever it was. And he never was not a million, never had $1 million in his account. And I was just like,
But bro, that's you know what? It really just all comes down to your goals though. Because I remember we went to Jacob the Jeweler in New York back when Jacob was popping. It was me, Posey, Lorenzen Wright, and Dante Jones. And I remember Ren spent like 350,000 in there. I remember White Chocolate was there too. He spent like 275. Posey spent like I want to say like 150, maybe more. And then Dante spent at least 75, right? And Dante got picked after me, so his money was a
Dante
little less.
Jones, right?
Yeah, yep. And so me and Dante came in together. He was like 21, I was like 16
Okay.
or whatever. And I went there, bro. I spent like 5, and I still got the chain that I had bought that day. You feel me? So
Yeah.
like, and bro, I don't care. Even if I'd have played 10, 15 years in the league, bro, it'd have been the same thing. Like I'd have still been driving that same Mercedes that I got, and I still would have had that same truck. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't have got something else eventually,
Yeah, for sure.
like to add to it.
Yeah.
But bro, like I don't even believe in like getting rid of paid off cars and stuff. Like I'm gonna drive it until it don't drive. Like
Yeah.
period. Like I'm just, it's just, man, I don't know what it is, bro. Like I've always been good at saving, and I've never cared about keeping up with other people
Mm.
and their expectations or whatever. You know what I mean? So, the best way to save money is, and you know what, bro? I'm not even saying like just saving. Like, if you do things in your life because it means something to you, that's cool. Like, if you want to go get something because that's what you want, and it's not about stunting on social media or looking good to some girl or whatever, then by all means, bro, go do that. But if you're doing stuff to look good for people that don't even matter in your life, people that are gonna hate on you no matter what, I just can't get behind that type of stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So like when I got my little first contract, bro, I told myself if I go back to the hood, it's gonna be to visit. It ain't gonna be because I have no choice or I blew it or whatever. So that's just kind of how I looked at it, bro.
Hmm.
Like I don't like and also too, I remember one of my homies, man, tall guy car reviews. He does like the car reviews for like all kind of stuff. And when he first came to my condo, he's like, bro, you should get a Lamborghini. I was like, no, I'm not gonna get a Lamborghini. I was like, I don't want to drive a Lamborghini for 10 years and then be driving a Corolla for the last 30
Yeah.
because you know what I mean? Because I'm doing unnecessary stuff, bro. So I've just always wanted to live comfortable. Like, I don't care where you grow up. If you grew up in the hood, like any hood, like seeing stuff, experience stuff, like you know, I mean, I love my neighborhood when I was growing up in it. But
Hmm.
once you like get older and you don't really know the players no more in the hood, like when you're past, because I don't care where you grow up, bro. Like once you
Yeah.
stop knowing the people that live there, like it's not the same going back. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
So I just always wanted to be in a situation where like I'm just coming to visit. I just did not want to have to like literally set up shop and start my life there. Cause think of everything you've seen, like the money you've made, like bro, you're beyond that. Not that
Hmm.
you won't go back and like do great stuff, because I'm all about going back, doing camps, helping out, giving rides, all that stuff is great. But with the money you've made, bro, you shouldn't have to like go back and get a house in the hood. Like, what was the point of all the hard work
Yeah.
if you can't, like just go past where you started? That's just how I feel. Like I still go back to look at the house I grew up in because after my dad passed, I bought my mama a house in a suburb that she always liked. And I
Okay.
and I wanted to get my parents to move, but my dad wouldn't leave because that was his
Yeah.
house, that was his castle, even though it was small, like that was
That's
him.
what
He's
he
like,
worked
this is
for.
me. Yeah, period. You feel me? And I respect it. I love that house, still love it. And I still drive by to look at it because I just miss my dad and the times. But bro, like I'm past all that, bro. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in my mind, that's how I feel. Like I knew what I was working for the whole
Hmm.
time, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. That
knew.
kind of made me wish like, because I didn't, I always, once I started playing, it was just like, even when I got to college, it was like, man, I made the college, I'm on full scholarship. I get my Pell Grant.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm a sneaker guy. I love sneakers.
Yeah.
I love this. Like I'm going to buy me some Jordans because I couldn't have that growing up. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Like I'd go to East Bay, get the East Bay magazine and circle everything I want, knowing I'm not gonna
Yep.
be able to get it. Maybe I'll be able to get one thing, two things out the whole year.
Yep.
and compared to everybody else, like my friends and stuff, they would have felt I was more well off. You know what I'm saying? But my mom just wasn't, she just was, she knew exactly how much she wanted to spend, her budget, this, and that. So she was like, you can't have these. I'm sorry. Don't come up to me with no $100 pair of shoes. Don't come to me with this and that. So when I got to college, it's like, all right, when I got it now in my pocket, I ain't got to worry about, paying for my books. I ain't got to worry about this. I ain't got to worry about that. I'm going to go, spend this Pell Grant money on whatever. And, that kind of translated over to Europe, because my first couple of years and stuff, I didn't make money like that. Like it's been a constant grind my whole career. And when I finally made something, I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a Camaro because I need a new car. And then not knowing the Camaro sitting there, 10 months out the year because I'm gone, 10 out of 12 months. So it's just sitting in the yard. I'm like, Mom, make sure you crank up my car, and so forth and so on. And it's just, and now it's like, if I would have had some of your mindset, in a sense, is like, you try to keep what you have,
right,
like that. Or if I would have been more educated on, like, I didn't know about corporate housing and I didn't know about this, like that. So I got an apartment that I'm paying for, and I'm not even there 10 months out the year. Like I could have just bought a 3-month lease and rented furniture. I didn't know that. Like, what I'm saying? So it's just, I wouldn't be to your extreme, but I know just some of it would have helped me, knowing about, like, if I had played on a team with you, being around you in the locker room and knowing about this stuff would have helped me in the long run. So it's now, people that's watching this that don't know, get this game for free. So it's just,
but that same thing happened to me with the cars too, bro. Like I got these cars and I was overseas. I thought I was gonna be in America, and now I'm not. You know what I mean? So my car was just sitting in the garage too, the same way, bro. It was rough. I was like, damn, I feel you though. Yeah. Did you pay it off, or did you just make payments on it?
Nah, I was making payments on it. I was gonna pay it off once I got to the next big, because I was playing contract to contract. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get my first 2-year deal until probably like I think after I did my stint with OKC in the Blue. So that was like year 7.
Right.
Because my very first contract was a 3-year with Baduchnos, but that didn't work out. Like I was there, the coach wanted me back, the GM wanted me back, but I guess the owner didn't want me back. You know how that stuff worked.
Right.
And so they end up not bringing me back. And I'm going to Germany on a 1-year deal the next year, and less money that I would have made in the second year of the Baduchnos contract.
So I only signed 1 2-year the whole time.
Oh, really? Yeah. So it's almost like kind of like me, like my career. I've signed 2. I've signed 2 years, and they really weren't 2 years. They were +1s with the options. They were like 1+1s. So yeah, man. So it's just like knowing that, or just with a, like now thinking back, it's just like you stay there and think about all the money kind of you made, and it's like, well, what do you have now? And it's just like, oh,
yeah, bro.
Like yikes. Yeah,
and there was one dude, man. I'm trying to think. No, you weren't over there yet, bro. This was when I was I want to say like 07. I'm not gonna say his name, but this dude was in the club like every night, and I wasn't even there to see him. I would always see his Facebook, and I know he had a couple kids too, bro, like 3, 4, 5 kids, bro. And this when the euro was killing the dollar too. Like the euro was beating the dollar down,
like 150 to $1, huh?
Bro, unbelievable. And I every time I used to see him in his pictures, I used to be like, bro, you're getting bottles every time you go. Like, I know you're going home with no money.
Yeah.
Like you're going home flat broke. Like, and don't get me wrong, like we weren't cool like that. So I never said nothing because I'm not ever, what I never try to do is overstep my boundary, because my dad used to always do that to people. My dad would like hop in your conversation, hate on you, and just believe. You know what I'm saying? so like I don't do that. Like I just don't overstep. You know what I mean? Like if someone don't ask me, like I'm probably not gonna say nothing, because my dad used to just do it so much to people, bro. Sometimes it was funny, but most times I used to be like, damn, dad, please let this person just live their life. Like, it's to be embarrassing sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I just don't do those things. But man, dude, people leave a lot of money. Like And you know what, bro? Maybe it's because my knees always hurt so bad, or my left knee always hurt so bad. Maybe I always just in back of my mind knew that things could end at any time. Maybe that also helped because my knees actually started hurting in high school, bro. In 1998, I remember my junior year, my knee that's when my tendonitis really started on my left knee, and I was like, man, like I'm only in high school, like
Mm,
this is stressful. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So I knew then, like that there's an expiration date on everybody. You know what I mean? I know everyone wasn't hurting like I was hurting, but I just knew that if people could feel like this and still try to ball, that 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 there's a day when everyone's like, yeah, this hurts too bad. I'm just done. So I
yeah,
think that also kind of helped me just always think like make sure you save your money, like just in case, because you don't know
yeah,
when this gonna be over. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you do not know, bro. At
Mm,
any time, we're all one injury away.
yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. One injury, one bad season,
Yeah.
one just people not fucking with you no more.
See, I feel like in the league, you're not one season away though. But overseas, you're
Yeah,
always one season away.
yeah.
Overseas, man, you could be one bad stretch
Mm-hmm.
away because because
Oh, one
if the
night
wrong
out.
bro, if the wrong coach badmouths you, you
Yeah,
may not ever get another contract.
yeah. That's yeah for sure.
Because think about this, bro. Everything you went through overseas, when is a coach from a potential team ever asked you how you felt about what happened? Never.
Exactly.
They never
Yeah.
be like, Mike, how do you feel? No one ever asks you what happened. It's always they're gonna ask the coach you had, and that's it. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. You'll never get to speak your piece.
Yeah.
There's no speaking your piece.
It's,
Straight up. Dude,
yeah.
after my one time, I won't even say the name of the team, but one time, bro, somebody had told because I remember some team in Russia was offering me like a decent deal. It was like 3 something. And I was just coming off like a 270. And they wanted me. They asked the GM about me, and the GM basically said like that I'm crippled. That's what he said, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's without coming back. Don't get me wrong. I know I don't walk that well. You feel me?
Yeah.
I haven't walked well since the early 2000s. Let's call it what it is, right? But I still was like, I was still like top. I want to say like top 8 in scoring
Yeah.
in the first division of Italy. So like why are you hating? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but that killed. So I went from going to get like a 330 to taking like a 200 in France.
Mm,
Like, and I shouldn't have had to do that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
When you
All
played, that was
because
in
Buddy said I
Orleans.
was, huh?
Then when you played at Orleans.
Yeah, bro. But
Yeah.
he told the guy that I was crippled. Like literally, bro. Like I'm like, I don't know, a paraplegic damn near. Like
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. Like that line. And my agent called me like, bro, are you basically asked me am I crippled? Like, what you mean
Yeah.
am I crippled? You just saw me playing. Like,
Exactly. You just watched it.
bro, it was unbelievable. But that line took like 130 bands off the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't take much to just blow your whole thing.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. And shoot, that kind of that goes right into like the next thing is just like what type of adversities have you faced throughout your life, like in your career, like that's one right there. Like, but
Yeah, bro. That's normal though. That's normal. If you get to overseas, you're gonna go through something like that.
oh yeah, 100%. You
Yeah,
hope it never happened to you, but eventually it hits you. It knocks on your door.
yeah, something's gonna happen. Something super bogus is gonna happen, and you're gonna be like, why? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why? But I would say, bro, honestly, I would say my adversity was like similar adversity to anyone growing up in the inner city, bro.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I remember a couple times, and this is like kind of extreme, but I don't even think it's very different. Like I remember when I was about 7 years old, bro, I was walking to the park. It was different times because I would never let my kid walk to the park now at 7 by itself. But
Yeah.
it's different times now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I was walking to the park, bro, and there was this crazy dude named Antoine, bro. He's dead now. I think somebody shot him in the head, but he pulled a gun out on me and put it like in my eye, bro. I remember I had a Tyrannosaurus Rex hat on, bro. It was like my favorite little dinosaur hat. And I'm only like 7 years old, bro. And I knew
Mm,
this dude, he was a maniac though. And he put it in my and I don't know, I still to this day don't know what happened, bro. I don't know if he had blanks in there or if it jammed or if the bullet malfunctioned, but I know that there was a hella gunpowder in my eye. And I remember like laying on the ground and my eye hurt so bad, bro. It hurt so bad. And I don't even know why he did it,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm about to say, what would he even do that?
He's a maniac. He's dead. Like he was a maniac, like just one of those menaces in the hood, like just doing wild stuff, bro.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had got a gun pulled out on me. And then I want to say about 5 years later, I was playing at the park that I was actually walking to that same day, and this guy pulled a gun out on me again, and he thought it, but it was a mistaken identity. He thought I was this other guy, but I named McKinley, and McKinley's a big, fat, mean dude, and I'm not big, fat, or mean.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, you was messing with my sister," and I couldn't really hear what he said, bro. He pulled like a cowboy style 22. Cause I'm looking at the gun, like, damn, this motherfucker about to shoot me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even do nothing wrong, but I wasn't in a gang or nothing. But and I didn't like beat nobody up or nothing at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, what is this? And I was looking at the gun, but he said McKinley. I'm like, McKinley? Oh no. McKinley's over there. And I didn't like
Yeah.
I didn't like McKinley, bro. McKinley was the worst dude ever. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And he left. And then he walked over, and I was still playing ball, but I knew I was about to leave. But I knew McKinley was over there because I could hear his loud ass voice. And I kind of wanted to stick around a little bit, but not really.
Yeah, you gotta get up out of there.
I gotta get out of there. But I stuck around long enough to hear the intro to the conversation. And I think the guy probably asked him, like, yo, you're McKinley? And McKinley talked hella shit, like, yeah, nigga, I'm McKinley, blah, blah, blah. And then dude must have upped the heat on him, because then he just started changing his whole conversation. Like, oh man, don't do this. When I grabbed my ball, I was like, yep, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Off, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, bro, what's crazy about that is I don't even know what happened after that. I didn't hear from McKinley. I don't think he got shot, but I don't, maybe he stopped coming back to the park. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that, you know, there's been a lot of weird times like that happened. Like one time I was staying out of my friend's house, like a block away, and I guess she broke up with her boyfriend, and he decided it wasn't over. He came, put a couple bullets in the house. I was just over there staying out of his. I was like, so like my neighborhood at the time, like it was, you know, it was hostile. You know what I'm saying? A hostile little neighborhood. But to be honest though, bro, like I always felt safe for the most part. You know, I mean,
That's a couple what you knew though.
Yeah, that's what I knew. But I had a great upbringing, bro. Like I had hella friends. Mm-hmm. Like there was danger, there was gangs and stuff, but all it really did was teach you how to move. You know what I mean? Teach you how to move. And outside of those extreme cases, like I didn't really have no issues. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got jumped at this one part, but that wasn't even my fault. Like, but I mean, there has been some stuff actually. Not that really. There has been some stuff, but it wasn't my fault why we got jumped. All kind of stuff. Like, I guess it was just my turn, even though I did nothing wrong that day. But yeah, bro, it's just a normal inner city upbringing, though. Really.
Yeah. How did that? You think all that stuff that happened? Like, how did that translate over to career and you know, growing as a person and growing into success? Like,
well, to me, bro, I feel like ass whoopings build character. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people need to get the ass whooped, because it's definitely not a fun thing. But I feel like being in them environments lets you know that an ass whooping is possible at all moments of your life. And I think that's important, because that's why you see so many disrespectful people, like people that actually can't even fight. And if they had to back up what they say on the internet or whatever, they would be in big trouble. But I've always chose my words wisely, because not only did I know ass whooping was possible at my house with my dad, but I also knew that it was very possible outside the house too. So I've always been like a very respectful person. Like, if I ever beef with somebody, it's because they started it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I've never started the beef, like, or the animosity or just any bad blood. I've never started it. But you know, if someone kicks it off, I'm definitely gonna go OD, because that's how I am. But I never start nothing though. I've never started anything in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's why I try to be really respectful, just because I know how fast things can escalate. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Because you all it takes is it in that quick of a second, that moment, you disrespect somebody, and depending on who it is, and that's what I tell people all the time too. Like, going back to just us playing in Europe, is like we go over there. I have to tell people sometimes we be out, this is and that, and I've had my times where I've gotten in fights over there, or you know, at the club, where I've, you know, been about to get into something, and but I've always been aware enough to like, okay, this might get too crazy. I ain't trying to die over here. No. Or, you know, this, you know, and I try to tell people, even some teammates I've had, and I try to tell younger people now, it's just like, you got to remember, you in somebody else's country at the end of the day. You don't know the language like that. You don't know who to call. You can't call your family. You don't got no goons. You don't got nothing, man. So you got to move a different way. You got to respect their culture, respect the country, and things will be a little smoother for you. There's always going to be people that's going to try you, but you got to know when to get in, when to get out, all that, man.
Bro, it's gonna be way smoother.
Yeah.
Way, not just a little smoother, way smoother. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I've never once got into any, almost got in a fight at the club or none of that. I've almost got into fights in games, but I've never almost got into a fight at the club or none of that, bro.
Yeah.
Because like just like what you said, like we can't even really explain ourselves to the cops.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And I don't even know if the cops, especially like in Italy, I don't know if they're going to be able to tell the difference between me or you and a regular African that they're probably racist against. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what they know or what they're used to or accustomed to. But if they're not basketball fans, they're going to treat us probably like those Africans that they treat so bad.
Hell,
So
the fans even get us confused.
yeah, no doubt. So it's like, I'm when I was out, bro, I was cool.
Yeah.
I've never ever had I ain't never, nope, not me.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I didn't either, man, because back then, I was in really good shape and I used to train boxing every summer. It would have been really bad if I had to sock somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
So bad.
bad because I have this thing like my whole life I've been this way. And like I hate bullies and I
Yeah,
hate seeing people get bullied. And
yeah.
like I got in a fight as a kid before because I was getting bullied. So I had like I've always had this thing of, like bullies and stuff. So every time I got in a fight over in Europe, it was basically because I
Who
was
was you
protecting
fighting in
somebody
Europe?
else.
Who was you fighting though?
Well, this one time, I ain't gonna say, my teammate, but I ain't gonna say his name over here. When
You gotta say his name. What country was it?
Italy,
What team?
when I was in Brescia.
Oh, okay, boom.
Yeah, and like we had we had the big we were out and we was out with our big 7-footer. And so we went out and you see a big guy, a lot of people they start drinking, they want to try him.
Right.
They just start talking junk and they start talking in Italian and I can see his face. Like it's just a leadership quality of mine. Like I want to make sure you're okay. Like I stuff like that. And I could see his demeanor change whenever the dude said what he said. So I asked him, I said, hey man, everything all right? Everything good? He's like, it's okay. His broken English, it's okay, don't worry. Da da da. And I said, nah, man, you need to let me know. Like I'm asking you, is everything cool? Like, what did he say to you? Because I saw his girl at the time too, was like she kind of even
His
was
girl
like,
was with him too.
yeah, like he was just like trying
What
to,
did they say? What did they say?
I don't know, but eventually I ended up going to them because they spoke Italian, but they were like Arabic, Arab, or I don't know I don't want to butcher the name or butcher the how you pronounce it, Arabic. I think that's correct. They're Arabic or something.
In
And
Italy, Arabic dudes are making fun of an Italian in Italy.
yeah, so I don't know if they were making fun of him, but they were saying, because when I ended up talking to him in English, in the sense they were like, yo, wouldn't it be cool? Like, I just want to fight somebody that big. I was like, how cool would it be to fight somebody that big? So I don't know what they said in Italian that made him go that way. But when I talked to him, they said, they just thought it would be cool, to say this, say that. Because you had one guy that was really amped and just excited. He had his friend behind him, like, don't worry, nothing, sorry. It's kind of that dynamic. So now I'm just like, man, just leave him alone. Da da da. I end up, we had the coat check because now I'm just like, man, don't worry about that. We go. I'm talking to the big fella. I'm like, don't worry about it. We're gonna get out of here. Just stay calm because it's like he a gentle giant, but this is a 7-foot dude. So if he decide to swing on you,
Right, it's gonna be tight.
he connect, it's over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was just real mild mannered. So I get my coat first. I'm walking, and you remember, you've been in Hollywood before, right? You got to go downstairs in Hollywood to get to the club. So we in Hollywood, and I'm getting to the part where you got to go up the stairs. It's like a little walkway before you get into the club.
Right.
I'm in the walkway. So now we in small quarters. I'm about to walk up the stairs. Next thing you know, like this girl in front of me or whatever, just like, no, 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 like however you say that, you know, in Italian, or, you know, however they just the environment changes. I turn around, my big fella fighting now, and dude, I'm not about to say fighting now.
Right.
Now it's like,
I know who's fighting.
yeah, now I'm fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, all right, we together now. So like, I'm not about to let y'all fight, and I'm not gonna jump in. Like now, we came as a team. We're a team. So that's how that went. I ended up losing my jacket, my BMW keys. We had to take the train back.
Oh, that's weak.
No, because I lost my jacket because once we got outside, because the everybody knew it wasn't our fault. So now the owners and stuff were trying to protect us, trying to help us because we got in the fight, and now they were outside. We don't know how many more people they were gonna go get.
Right.
And they were outside waiting for us. They was like, all right, we're gonna go out the back. So they took us around the back, and they were kind of still waiting, but it is what it is. So we get back outside. No, we get outside first upstairs, and they start trying us again because we got the best of them down there. So I take my jacket. I'm like, here. I like threw it to one of the girls. I'm like, hey, hold my jacket. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, I think because you know people be out there trying to sell you stuff. Africans be out there trying to say, and apparently, as you know, I didn't have my jacket anymore, and my keys were in my jacket.
Your coach done so.
Yeah. So yeah. So that and we end up fighting again, or about to fight again. Like we're barking back and forth at each other, you know, and they brought us back inside the club and say, hey, we're gonna take y'all out to the back and get you out the back that way. And then that's when I realized my jacket was gone because everything's starting to calm down.
Right.
My jacket's gone, my finger's messed up. I'm like, man, I might mess around, broke my finger. Now, what if I broke my finger fight? Like now all the consequences are starting to run through my head once my adrenaline's gone down. Cause I'm like, man, I ain't even supposed to be out right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like now my finger messed up. What if my finger broken? I'm having a great season, but now they can say they can't pay me because I went, like all that stuff is starting to run through my head. And now I'm on the train. Luckily, I still have my phone. You know, I got a, you know, I went out. This is that. Now it's sunlight coming up on the train. Now I'm texting my girl.
That's kind of how it be when you leave Milan, man. You know, it's late.
Yeah.
It's late. Whether you drove or trained it, that's a late.
Exactly. But you know, the train didn't leave till like 8. And I'm dead tired by then. By the time we got to the train, I'm dead tired by then because we done been up a whole 24 hours almost because you done did your practice and everything earlier in the day. You done did whatever, or played your game, did whatever. Now you decide to drive because Brescia was like an hour or so from there. Then you get there, then you go out, then you not leaving till 5 or whatever. Then all this happened. Now we got to find train tickets. Now we got to get to Brescia. Oh, it was bad, bro. I was like, you know what? I'm not going out with y'all. I think I stayed in like until the end of the season after that. Like I didn't go back because I was like, ain't doing it. So
it's a lot.
But
it's a lot to deal with, man. It could get real bad for you quick, man.
Yeah. And I love that jacket too, man. Them kids. So we had to go. So the car had to get left in Milan.
Right.
We had to go back on train. I had to call my GM, kind of try to figure out a way to tell him how we lost the keys.
Right.
Go to BMW, but that, you know, in Italy, it's hit or miss when they're open or closed.
Right. Now, you don't know what. Yeah, no, and the turnaround time be however they be.
Never open.
Yeah.
So they had to come open the shop and get the keys. So then I had to find a way to get back to Milan, go pick up the car. Then, you know, if you drive in the area around a bad time, you're gonna get a ticket.
Yeah.
So it was all bad. I wasn't making that much then either. So I was just like, all that was just racking up in my head. They ain't make me pay for the key though. So that was a good thing. And it ended up all working out. But boy, that was a crazy night, man. Kind of wonder, because I just touched on actually, you know, about your adversity throughout your career in life, and you brought that down to me. And, you know, and I was asking you, like, how did all that happen to you shape your, you know, career? Like, how did that help you propel to success?
Well, you know, I feel like pressure makes diamonds, and you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger for the most part. So I feel like as long as you continue to, you know, try to achieve your goals and pursue the things you're trying to pursue, you know, all that knowledge and wisdom should make you better at
Mm,
whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Like there's another thing I learned too is almost everything that ends up being worth it doesn't come easy for you. You know what
mm,
I mean?
yeah.
Like you got to put your time in, you got to go through stuff, man. Just like we talked about in that behind the music, like you don't know what people are really going through. Like when you look at someone that's already made it, I guarantee they went through a lot to get there.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than you could have imagined they had to go through. You know what I mean? Like everything I've experienced, man, has I'm not gonna say helped me in ways that I always appreciate because some of the things you go through, you're like, man, I wish I could have avoided that.
Mm-hmm.
But after you survive stuff, man, and get through stuff, like for the most part, I feel like you're usually better for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For the most part. Some things you're just like, man, I wish I could have did without that. But for the most part, you're better for the things you go through. So, you know, I'd say that's pretty consistent in most people's lives.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely just gotta. That's the way I see it too. It's just like why like hate to piggyback off wrestling, but like why not? Like if this something you want, like just because you don't have a father, you know, or you grew out without your father doesn't mean you can't be this or be that, or you have to be this way, or
Right.
just because you know you grow up in Section 8, it don't mean you got to be this way or that way. That like there's ways to to conquer your environment in a sense, not to be cliche, but there's ways to get out of your situations. You know, if you own it first, first it comes with acknowledgement in any problem.
Yeah.
Like just any from alcoholics to whatever. Like the first step they always say is acknowledging that you have a problem. Like
Yeah.
acknowledge your circumstances. All
Yeah.
right, get that out the way. You don't have as good as everybody else, or you may be lacking in this regard. All right, now be a problem solver. Like, what steps can I take to, you know, get to this goal of mine or these aspirations of mine, and just start chopping at the block, man, chopping wood in a sense. You know
Oh,
what I'm
no
saying?
doubt, man. No doubt. I mean, you know, not most people aren't going to grow up under ideal circumstances. You know what I mean? And some people come from two parent homes where things aren't good there either. But
Mm-hmm.
then some people come from a one parent home where things are amazing. You know,
Yeah,
you don't know what you're going to get.
exactly.
You know, it's not just like a cookie cutter thing where just because you have this and that, it's going to equal that. It doesn't always work like that, man. You never know. You never know what's going to happen to you. But one thing we know is that if you quit, no matter what you're doing, you can't get nowhere. The biggest
Yeah,
thing is just continuing to pursue whatever it is you're interested in, man.
yeah. And that takes mental toughness, and it's like when did you know like you needed a certain mental toughness to be able to to get where you wanted to get to and accomplish what you wanted to accomplish?
You man, I ain't gonna lie, man. When I was doing gymnastics, that's when I really learned to believe in myself because it's an individual sport and it's really, really hard. And and we used to practice, man, for like 2 3 hours, like when we a couple times a week. Like it was a lot, bro. So when I was like, I want to say when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, I could do like 40 dips. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like my son can only do like 5 dips now. I was doing 40. Like I was a little, I mean, because I was working my butt off, man. They had me in there like one of them little you know how they be like in Russia, they be just making
Yeah,
people just work all day and night. It wasn't like that per se,
yeah.
but I was really working my butt off. Like sometimes I remember my mom doing my homework because I didn't have no time to do it. You know what I mean? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
how hard I was going to gymnastics at the time. And that really like, I mean, the schedule was tough. You're getting super strong. I'm competing. What right before I stopped doing gymnastics, I think I was like 9 years old. I took second in nationals, in the national tournament in Iowa. And so by the time I got done doing that, like my belief in myself was just like through the roof.
Yeah, through
You
the
know what I
roof.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was through the roof, man. Cause but it had been like something that had been proven. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing these tournaments, I'm getting busy. Like it wasn't just I'm believing in myself, like I'm the best just cause. Like, no, I felt like the work I put in up to that point, like I'm doing my thing.
Mhm.
So I just had a lot of confidence. So going into football and basketball at that time or after that, like football came easy to me, but basketball I had to work at. I go like that didn't just come super easy. So, but because of the gymnastics background, I already knew what hard work felt like, and I was cool with it. So it taught me to to just work hard and just
Yeah.
pursue it no matter what. Like it wasn't hard for me to keep working because I had already been past that point of letting difficult tasks make me feel like I couldn't do it or taking my confidence away or any like that. So it that gymnastics really like set the tone for me, just my work ethic and just kind of having that self-confidence and understanding that like when you say self-confidence, the thing that sticks out to me is self. Like you're in charge of the confidence. It's you.
Mhm.
Like you're in charge. Like it don't matter if the coach tell you you suck at this or if your friend tells you're not good at that. Self-confidence, self. You gotta choose it. You gotta decide. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big advocate for that because people are trying to take your confidence so quick. Like just to teach you a lesson. Sometimes they
Yeah.
call there's a difference between tough love and just being an asshole. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Straight up.
And but if you have that self confidence, it's always gonna be times where you lapse because everybody got different levels of mental toughness. Because mental health wouldn't be a thing if that wasn't the case. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But and by me doing this and I'm just trying to aid in that. I'm in no shape trying to say, well, you conquer your environment, you need to be mentally tough. And if you're not, then you just can't make it happen. It's just like, no, it's just all a part of the process. Like you
Right.
may not be mentally tough today, but taking baby steps or whatever and taking little steps to own your struggle or, acknowledging this and doing that, you could be less uh more mentally tough the next day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's a
Not
journey.
as mentally tough on Tuesday, but Wednesday you wake up, you could just be a little bit more there,
Yeah.
you
It's a
know?
journey, man. It's a journey. It doesn't happen in one day. None of it happens in one day, man. You gotta be open to the process of it all. And also too, you gotta put that work in. Cause I remember I saw this quote that Kobe had said, and obviously Kobe's confidence is like a totally different level, you know what I'm saying? Cause
Yeah,
cause he was on some other stuff, you know what I'm
yeah, for
saying?
sure.
But I remember he was like, I remember he had this one quote, he's like, something about like I'm not just gonna go 0 for 9 because I believe in myself. I'm gonna go 0 for 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna stop. You know what I mean? Now that may be a little extreme because most people won't get a chance to go 0 for 30. You know
exactly,
what I'm saying? Coach gonna snatch
exactly.
your ass out, it's over with. But at the same time, I just like the idea of continuing to try. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I'm not saying go 0 for 30. Ain't no coach leaving you to do that. But
Exactly.
but try. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is try.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go 0 for 30.
And
Just
if it
saying try.
happens, try to figure it out. Like,
Please try to figure it out.
yeah, like
0 for
try
30
to
is way
figure
too
it out.
much. I don't care what's happening.
Yeah, you shouldn't be shooting 30 times unless you know.
Making them all.
Yeah, you gotta be at least 48, 48 to 52%.
Come on, man. Like, come on. You gotta be a little success happening.
And so talking to that, like what after everything you've been through, all the adversity, you know, being mentally tough to get you where you at today, what you've accomplished, like what does success mean to you, and like or what is your definition of success and was it different throughout your childhood to college to now, as a father too, or is it
Yeah,
pretty being
bro.
consistent?
I feel like it's changed a lot, bro. A whole lot. Because when I had first got to the league, I remember I promised myself. Now, obviously, the contracts now are way different. So when I got to the league, it was like '03. So in my mind, I just my goal based on because I had a pretty good understanding of finances. Like I'm not saying I knew everything about investments or anything like that. I'm just saying I've been good at saving money and I understand like that I'm not trying to live one of those super high life lifestyles. So what I had told myself was, and obviously I didn't achieve it because but I'm working on it still. I told myself that I want to have like 20, 30 million in the bank. Not make 20, 30. I
Mhm.
wanted to have 20 or 30 like that I was playing with to make more money and blah blah blah. Didn't even get close. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I would have had to make like to get, let's just say to get 20, I would have had to make like 34, something like that.
Mhm.
My first contract was 3.65 million. Didn't get another NBA contract. Didn't even get close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't even get in the ballpark. But so that was my first goal, right? Didn't get that. I remember being at my dad's house upstairs in my bedroom, got cut from the league, blah, blah, blah. I remember like being there, like, damn, how am I gonna get to this money, right? Because it was my own goal. It was
Yeah.
my own personal goal. Like I didn't really tell nobody. This is just what I'm thinking in my mind. You know what I mean? But also at that time, I wasn't thinking about a family. I wasn't thinking about no wife. I wasn't thinking about none of that. At
Yeah.
that time, at that time, 24, 25, whatever it was, like I've never been a big club guy, so I've never been a big go out guy because I'm not a big bottles guy. I'm not a big like let out guy. You know, like a
Yeah.
lot of bad things happen at the let out. So I've always been cautious about my environment. People, I've always been like real cool with like a lot of hood dudes, people that sold this, did that. So I've always understood what's possible. I've always understood getting robbed. I've always understood the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
About
like,
to say having a gun at 7.
yeah, yeah, bro. So I mean, there was a time when I remember being out one time in Memphis. I used to be in Memphis. Like I would lots about myself, go to the hood and strip clubs, all type of stuff. Right. I don't know where. I don't know why I was on what I was on. I wasn't like a club guy, but I used to like strip clubs. So I
Yeah.
would go to strip clubs, but I wasn't going to regular clubs. But even when I went to strip clubs, though, like I was never like tricking in the strip clubs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would always like if I was interested in a girl, I would get someone else a dance. Like like yo, get my man a dance. Even if it wasn't my man, like my homie, I would get him a dance because
Yeah.
I was a super Mac, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. But because I'm letting you know that I respect your time. So, but I'm still gonna chop you up. But I'm not getting the dance. I'm not thirsty. You're
Yeah.
not gonna be rubbing on my jeans or grinding on me or doing none of this. But I'm gonna respect your time. You're gonna come give me this conversation. Because I'm getting you out of here regardless.
Yeah.
Maybe not tonight, but I'm getting you out of here. Period. So that's type of stuff I was on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, there will be times, bro, like where I would look around and be like, "Ooh, I'm not bringing the rollie in here. Take this
Yeah.
joint off. You know what I'm saying? Put this joint under the seat. Oh, got my chain on. Oh, nope, not around these niggas. Take the chain off. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I just always moved very, even though I was in some shady places sometimes, I was always thinking about the possibilities. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Half the time I was in places I shouldn't even have been at. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie to you. Without like being from there or knowing certain people, ain't no way. But I think that because I was a little dude, like no one probably thought I hooped, and I wouldn't get no playing time in the league, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't even look. I don't think they even knew who I was. You know what I mean? Which I think really helped me because I feel like if they'd have knew me, I'd have probably got robbed. I ain't gonna lie to you. In Memphis,
You
I'm
know,
not
in the
saying in
strip clubs.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Come on, fam. Like bro, I'm in there on weeknights. I wasn't getting no burn, bro. So I'm like, I'm putting my work in, but like after that, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm about to go kick it.
Yeah.
So like I've always just been conscious of like everything around me, man. And I lost my whole damn point. What the hell was I talking about before I started this? You remember? You probably
Yeah,
forgot too.
nah,
Oh, the
you.
money, the money, the money, the money,
Yeah.
the money. So okay, so I set these goals. So all right, so back then I wanted to get 20 or 30 million, and all I really was thinking about was like taking care of my family and like setting up some of the homies. That's it. But then like once that dream was impossible no more to get that bread at that moment, then okay, now I'm overseas. My money is way less, um, way less than the league. Um, but it's still coming. It's coming steady. So now I'm like, all right, how can I set myself up for life after basketball on these type of paychecks? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so then, like, I've always been conservative, so it wasn't about that. But I feel like I got even cheaper, if that's even possible. But I was just for real, bro. I was on some cheap stuff. I mean, outside of like buying like my cribs, because I
Yeah.
had a house in Memphis, right? So I had that. That was 242. Paid that off, and that was one of the only losses I really took in real estate because I sold it at the wrong time during the recession because I wanted my
Mm,
cash. But I knew I shouldn't have sold it. But I was thirsty. I wanted my cash, so I took a loss
yeah.
on it. But everything else that I did, I won with. So I had bought a condo in '06 right after, no, just before I went to camp with the Hornets, but I ended up getting cut, tore my groin, got cut. Um, but I bought a condo. I sold that condo in 2000 and I want to say 18, and then I bought the house. So I bought that for 330. I sold it for 410. So that was like I lived there for free. So that really, these are all like things that help me with my money, right?
Hmm.
So then I took that money and I bought my next house. I bought that cash. So I paid 457 for that. So really I got the house for like, what was it, 40, 30? Because I took all that money and the
Hmm.
equity and got that. So I paid that off cash. So every house that I've ever owned, I ended up paying cash for it. Because back to the owning stuff, I just never wanted to be one of those athletes that went broke. And I always thought to myself, if I own stuff like the car, the
Yeah.
house, then you always got something to drive, and you always got a place to live. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I only want to pay taxes on the houses, right? Because you got to pay tax on your house. So my whole mindset, especially once I wasn't getting no real money, like that real money,
Hmm.
then I was just like, okay, every move from here on out has to be the right move. Period. So so that house, so the house that I had before I moved to this house I'm in now, I'm renting that out. But because it's paid off, it all comes to me. And then I ended up buying one more townhouse cash, and that'll all come to me. So I was just thinking like once, like I said, once I wasn't getting that real money, I just was always thinking about it. I wanted to get into real estate, but I wanted to do it when I was done playing, just
Hmm.
because I wanted to be able to be around.
Yeah.
It's hard to collect your rent if you ain't in the same
Yeah,
country.
for
You know what I
sure.
mean? Someone just tell you like I ain't paying. You're like, oh well, I'm in France, so I guess
Yeah.
you're just not paying. What am I do? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Fly home to get a monthly check that ain't nowhere near what you're making in France. Like,
Yeah, for
no, that don't
sure.
make no sense. So I knew I wanted to get into real estate to some degree. And I'm not even saying I wanted to be an agent or like really start flipping or doing nothing. I just always wanted to, and I always knew I wanted to make passive income too. So like now that all this the fast money that I was making and hooping is over, like I just wanted to make sure I was set up. So all the properties that so I own four properties outright. My mom lives in one, I live in one, two are rented out. I want to get more, but I'm not in no hurry.
Yeah.
Um, should I like to get a job at some point? I just don't know what I want to do, really. You know what I mean? It's hard to hoop like we hooped and just know
Yeah.
what you want to do right away. It's
Yeah.
hard, bro, especially you because you're on the fence. Like you still want to hoop, so it's going to be damn near impossible for you to think about getting a career in any field because your heart's still on the court. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, bro, it's a process, man. It's a process, bro. Like it's not an easy thing to go from, and what you say, you're 12 in now, right?
This would be
12
13
years,
if I go
whatever
back.
you
Yeah.
30, bro. It's hard, bro. It's hard to do something like this, for this long, and then just like go do something else
Yeah.
until you know it's over. If your body tells you it's over, then it's easier because my body and that situation told me it was over in Argentina. But if you know you can hoop, bro, it's so hard to give it up.
Yeah.
It's so
Trying to
hard to
find a
give it
way to
up.
transfer that energy to something else.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This type of stuff you're doing now, great hobby, great outlet, could be something, and that's great. But it's going to be hard for you to fully invest until you know you're done with hoops. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm telling you the other day, I'm having trouble walking up and down stairs. Dude,
Yeah.
talking about a knee replacement. I could hoop if I wanted to. You know what I mean? So it's different for me. Like I'm phase two for sure. But if you still got that go in you, bro, and you know you can do it, it's so hard to stop.
Yeah. How
It's
is that though? Like, how mentally is that for you? Like, knowing all these years you hooped, and now it's like you feel like you can't even go on the court and play defense or make a between the legs cross or
Bro,
something.
I already knew. I already knew when I was hooping, bro, that this day was coming. I didn't know it was gonna be this extreme, just because you never think it's gonna be. You never think at 40, some dude's gonna be like, yeah, you could do a knee replacement. You don't gotta do it, but you could do it. You know what I mean? I never
Yeah.
thought I'd be hearing nothing like that at 40. But my knee, but like I said, my knee been hurting since my knee's been legit hurting since like my last knee surgery in Memphis. You know what I mean? But my
Mm.
knees was hurting in 98 though. So like, but I've always known it was coming, you know what I mean? Like I knew.
Yeah.
I just knew, bro. Like,
Easier to cope with when you kind of already expect it.
oh, I mean, bro. I've been icing my knees as a hooper. I ice my knees 2 to 3 times a day from I want to say like '05 until like 16. You know what I mean? When I shut it down. So, when you're doing that much ice, not to mention the ibuprofens, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and them
like,
things ain't even good for you if you take too many.
come on, man, the profens. I don't even take them no more.
Yeah, I
Like,
stopped taking them too once I found
yeah,
out what could happen. I just
liver,
cut
your
cold turkey.
kidneys, and
Yeah,
all that. Yeah, bro. I don't even take them no more unless it had to be extreme for me to take one now. But yeah, bro, it sucks just because like you have all this knowledge and you know how to do it still, but you have one thing on your body that's like, nah, we ain't
yeah,
doing that no more. You know what I mean? That part sucks, but at the same time, like I feel like I maximized my money the best I could. I don't think I could have did. Don't get wrong, I took losses too, bro. The IRS came after me one time for some stuff that my dad had whatever, but that was
yeah.
55 G's at one pop gone.
Woo!
I
You
invested
don't
with
play, boy.
off the just gone, bro. It's just gone. I invested with a guy one time. Great idea. Didn't materialize. 200 gone. I'll never see it. So are we at 255? Um, then my financial guy had put me in something that would have been good if I would have stayed in the league, but I couldn't make the installments because I wasn't in the league no more. So I had to get out of that. I want to say that was like 70 gone. And
Mm,
then Oh, and then the money that I lost on the house in Memphis. So, and I added up the money, bro. So, all with everything, like I've lost like 390,000 in my since I've been an adult. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So I know what loss looks like, but still, like I told you, like that one time, I'm never not gonna be a millionaire. You feel me?
Yeah,
So I've lost and 390 is a lot of money. Like
yeah.
to
That's
just be gone,
yeah,
bro, it's gone. You know what I mean? It's just whew, in the air, gone. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But I'm still like super gravy. So even when you make mistakes, what I try to do is I just never try to like everything I just never tried to do anything to where it would just take it all away. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Like I bet big on certain things that didn't work, but I never put myself in a position to lose, like to
yeah,
lose. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes people when they invest, they just do too much. Like they invest to the point where they can no longer be comfortable. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel like when you do stuff like that, that's when you really lose. And don't get me wrong, I'm still salty about that 390. I'm
Gotta
salty
be.
every day.
Yeah.
Every day I'm salty. But like I'm still super gravy though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I still like I said, I still got 4 paid off cribs outright. I still got rental property. Like I still got cash. Like I just tried to maximize my career. You know what I mean? Even with the losses, I still feel like, but I wish I could add that 390 to the account,
Yeah,
but
fast.
you know what I'm saying? But, but it's over, bro. Like it's
Yeah,
over. You know what I mean? But with all that, with all the journey and the lumps and the bumps I took, like I'm still cool. You know what I mean? Like I still
yeah,
can't complain at all. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So,
yeah.
oh, I think that's what it's about though. At the end of the day, bro, because you're gonna, like you said, you wish you knew about corporate housing, you wish you knew about this and that. But at the end of the day, though, bro, if you're up and like way up compared to where you could be, compared to like the teammates you had that was in the club every night, the teammates you had that had to buy jewelry every summer, the teammates you had that had to buy a new car every 2 or 3 years. Like if you didn't do those things, bro, and you made decent money in your career, you're gonna be in great shape going into your next career because no matter
Yeah.
what you did or do, as hoopers, we still got to transition to something. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
this ain't something we could do forever. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not.
yeah, yeah.
So there's gonna be a transition, and like I told my homeboy BJ Elder back when he his first overseas contract, I just told him that at the end of your overseas career, if you didn't save enough money to comfortably transition, it was a waste of time.
Mm,
Period.
yeah,
That's how I've always looked at this overseas stuff because, especially before social media, because like I remember um, before Instagram, nobody knew what you did overseas.
yeah,
Nobody knew. And nobody cared about overseas until the NBA went on that last lockout and people started going overseas.
yeah,
Before that, bro, overseas basketball didn't mean nothing to nobody. Didn't mean nothing to nobody. But once it got like, popularized by the the NBA guys and social media, now it's a cool thing. People actually aspire to do that. Like, oh man, if I can't get to the league, I'd love to go overseas and see the world. But before that, bro, wasn't nobody
Yeah,
thinking about that. So
exactly.
so for me, as someone who got to the overseas game before it got cool, I knew that you need to be able to win at the bank. If you can't win at the bank, then that's it. Because
Yeah.
back then you couldn't go to the club and say I play overseas basketball to some girl in the club. They'd be like, and I don't see you on TV. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
fact.
saying? Like
Yeah.
what's that? Like some little camp league or what are you doing? Like, so you know what I mean? I always knew that you had to win at the bank if you're an overseas player. You got to
Yeah.
try to win at the bank the best you can because the rest of it don't matter.
Yeah, for sure. That's as real as it get right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that is not getting taxed. You bring it home, and if you
Yeah.
can stay away from the impulse, you're
Yeah.
gonna be and know exactly, what's beneficial to you and what's not, and what can help you maximize. Like you said, maximize, your money. That's
Yeah.
what's going to help you keep it.
Yeah, and
You know what
also
I'm
too,
saying?
my other goal too, even though I had already surpassed it, but when I was a kid, I remember thinking to myself through hoops. This is before we were talking about NBA. I didn't know if I could go to NBA back in high school and all that, but I was just thinking like if I can get a house and a car paid off of hoops, that would be cool. And then
Mhm.
like this transition into whatever else, like that was my initial goal. You know what I'm saying? To like just have a paid off house and a paid off car because really that's what most people work for. Most people
Yeah,
are working to pay for their mortgage and to pay for their car note. And then if you got insurance or whatever for your medical, but really, a lot of people don't got medical insurance, but you still got to live somewhere. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? So that was my first goal. Like I want to, if I can get a paid off house and a paid off car through hoops, that's my first goal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? On some bare minimum type stuff for someone who really is trying to get there that has the potential to. Because if you can do that, bro, like you got action.
Yeah, getting into like the last thing. So I just want to, this is called Conquer Your Environment. And I just want to know, like, when you hear that, like, what does conquer your environment mean to you? Like, for me, like we talked about earlier, it's just like, being able to own your struggle, see the steps, that whatever's hindering you or whatever. And, just own your struggle and just knowing that that doesn't affect your potential to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like acknowledging what you got, now working for it. Conquer it, like take it over, attack it. Like what does conquer your environment mean to you?
Man, it's
When you
funny,
hear that?
man, because looking at it from like I'm an old dude now, man. So looking at it from the perspective of a 40-year-old, you know, um, it's funny, man, because there's so much less stress to me. Don't get me wrong, as parents, it's stressful thinking about the future of your kids, right? Stuff like that. Want to keep them safe and protected. But thinking about it from like a younger kid who might be like playing sports and going to school, I feel like it's a lot harder for those people because I'm trying to go back to that mindset being like a younger kid like up and coming because I feel like you have so many moving parts like trying to go to school, especially if you're like in the inner city having to walk through the hood, this that and the third. I feel like there's a lot of moving parts that you can't really like account for. You kind of got to hope certain things work out.
Yeah.
um Man, bullets ain't got no names. Like there's a lot of things that are kind of scary thinking about it from like the kid standpoint, but from an adult standpoint right now, man, like I just feel like especially someone who's like just conquered like bad habits.
Mm,
Talked about like being young in the strip club and
yeah.
stuff. I'm not gonna call it a bad habit. I'm just gonna say things you do at certain times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, it's to me what that is like my evolution as a man,
Okay.
going from the things I used to do, the things I used to be into to now being a husband and a father and changing my mindset about a lot of different stuff. I feel like I was able to conquer my BS. Some of the things that definitely wouldn't have led me to where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm really appreciative for that too, man, because I'm telling you, like, I got married this summer. There was a time
Yeah.
in my
Congrats
life.
on that too.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. There was a time in my life where I never ever wanted to be married. Like
Mm-hmm.
talking about being married was like,
Yeah.
talking about like having somebody push me over in a porta potty or
Yeah.
something. Like, yeah, I mean, because I just wasn't on that, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just was not there mentally. Like there was a time when that seemed like and my parents were married for like 42 years, bro. But
Mm.
like, but I, watching them interact, and they used to talk their shit and have a good time. But like, there wasn't like a lot of passion there that I seen. It didn't look
Mhm.
fun. I'll just say that it didn't look
Yeah.
fun. You know what I'm saying? They both had got big. It just
Yeah.
there just was nothing there that looked like something I would be into. You know what I mean? And don't get me
Uh-huh.
wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. We have fun. They drink, talk. But like, bro, it just nothing about it looked like something I wanted to be involved in on
Yeah.
any level. You know what I mean? And it's sad because I wish I could have looked at it from the standpoint of, okay, you got two people that love each other, that raise a family and held each other down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I knew that was there, but it still didn't look like no fun to me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I just had different plans for my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no need to get into that, but I just had
Yeah,
different
for
plans. You
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so for me, conquering my environment really reminds me of like the ideas I conquered. Like,
Hmm.
because what I'm doing now is perfect for my kids. It's actually perfect for my old ass. You know what I mean? I can't damn near walk right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I got a wife. I got as much security as you can have in this life, as far as like, just having the family and the love and all that good stuff, bro. So conquering my environment was conquering a lot of my old ideas. And I'll just say it simple, like some of my old BS. And it wasn't that it was bad. It's just that I'm 40 now. I'm not
Yeah.
22. I'm not hooping. I'm not getting fast money. I'm not doing any of the stuff that I had been doing for a long time. So, you gotta evolve as a man, you gotta grow, and you gotta change some of your ideas of fun too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like things that were fun at 22. I'm not saying they won't be fun at 40. They would be,
Yeah.
but not with two kids and a wife. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, not if you want to do it right, and not if you
Yeah.
want to keep those things. So for me, it's like just conquering old ideas that no longer serve me and just evolving into the person I'm supposed to be, as opposed to, making ego decisions, trying to see if I still got it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what it means to me as a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
I know that if you'd have asked me this in 5-year intervals at like 20, 25, 30, 35,
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd have been different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at 40, it's about conquering the young man BS that no longer serves a old dog anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it. You know what I mean?
That's
That
crazy because that's kind of like the tagline for conquer your environment. I call it. I tell people, success is a mindset shift away.
yeah.
And that's essentially exactly what you just talked about. Your mindset had to change, and the moment your mindset changed, success in your eyes came into fruition.
Yeah, bro. And I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'd have got that 20 million, that 30 million or whatever, and banked it, I'm good with the bread. So I'd
Yeah.
have made it work.
Yeah.
But I would have never been here. I promise you that.
Mhm.
I'd have never been a married guy. I can promise you that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know what happened, but
Yeah.
it would have been this. You feel me?
Yeah.
And just because I wouldn't have been able to conquer those ideas with because what is money? Money is freedom and
Hmm.
opportunity. So I wouldn't have been able to get here with that much freedom and opportunity. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's
Yeah.
no way. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So that's why I say based on my circumstances and everything that happened, like I could not be happier with where I am mentally and
That's
just
dope.
where I am with my kids and my family, bro. So I feel like I maximized the best I could. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I'm happy, man. And I'm happy,
That's
I
dope,
can't
bro.
yeah, bro. And I think that's all we can hope for, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's gonna be ups and downs. We're gonna go through our stuff. But if we can be happy for the most part with all the things that we are gonna go through, especially what's going on now and the new normal we're adjusting to and all that, like that's all we can ask for, man. I
Yeah.
love seeing you, like you post your kids on there, like it's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Like we're not the kids in the club no more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
For
Come here, baby.
sure. Exactly.
Baby cakes. Come here, baby.
Exactly, man.
Over there. All right, we'll go over there. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. And that's dope, man. And like you said, like that's everything, but these conversations are about is, and I'm talking to people, I'm talking to you and just in general, man, you cultivated you took adversity, you cultivated growth and success, man. And I appreciate it, Troy. I appreciate you talking to me, big dog, man. Like
No doubt, no doubt.